Hi everybody, this is Mr. Wes Moore and I am your instructor for e-marketing. In this video I'd like to take you through how to build a blog in the website builder Wix.com. So let's get started with that now. First we'll go to the instructions in D2L and you can read all of this for yourself. We'll go through some of it as we go along in this video. But essentially what we're going to do is set up a basic website and then add a blog to it. What I was hoping to do is allow you to make a site that you could potentially use later for your own business and then also have the blog built into it. So I'll give you more instructions as we go along, but let's look and see what we need to do here to complete this assignment. All right, to accomplish this assignment, perform the following activities, points awarded for each. All right, use the same pretend business you have been using in this course. So throughout the course, you had to create sort of a business plan and a logo and a catchphrase and all of that. We're going to piggyback off of that in this site. So here in the first section, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and create that site and choose a template and then begin to edit the template in Wix. So let's go over here to Wix and let's look at what we need to do to get our site started. All right, so I've already logged in. You'll need to create a site. It's free. You'll need to create, so I've already logged in. You need to create your own login and get into the site before you get started. But when you do, you'll see this basic home page here. And over here in the top right, we have Create New Site. So that's what you want to do. You want to select Create New Site. Then what it'll do is it'll bring up the editor here in just a moment. So I've already logged in. But in order for you to get into this part of the site, you will have to create an account and then log in. Once you log in, you'll come to this basic landing page here where you have all of your sites. And what we want to do is we want to select this Create New Site icon up here in the blue. Now I will mention that the site will change from time to time. They may change the location of icons. They may change the names of them. If you see something that's a little bit off from the time I recorded the video, just use your best judgment and figure out what you should do and where the icons should be located. So let's click Create New Site here. And we're going to have to skip a few of these things. You could use these if you wanted to, but I want you to just skip through until we can get to Edit a Template. Here's another thing they're going to ask you. These may be different by the time you watch the video. And then this third one here we'll skip. Now when we get here, we have an option to let Wix create a site for us or to use a template. And we want to edit a template. So what we'll do here is we come to our templates. Now in the instructions, let me move the instructions over so I can get to them easier. It says choose a template from Wix. From the Wix options that fits as closely as possible your business. You do not have to choose the one in the video. So I'm going to choose one here, but you could choose anything. If you were creating a restaurant, you may choose a restaurant type theme, or if you're starting a clothing store, you may choose something from fashion. Whatever works for you. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and use a site concept that I've used in another class. I'm going to go to Businesses and Services. You see here you can have all these drop downs to get to these different things. Now we could go here, I will point this out. You can go here and just create a blog only. But as I said earlier, I didn't want to do that. I want to give you a website with a blog as opposed to just a blog. But what you learn here will apply to a lot of those. So I'm going to go over to Business and Services and I'm going to choose Services and Maintenance. And that gives me a whole bunch of different options. And I want to go down, and this is the site here. I'm going to create a carpentry business. All right, this is the one I want, so I hover over it and I hit Edit. That allows me to choose it. Now it's going to give me the editor. This is their software that loads that will allow us to edit the site. While it's doing that, let's go now back to our directions. Move this over here again. All right, so we've done the first thing. We set up our account, we edited a template, we chose a template, and now we're ready to go. The editor has loaded. So let's go down here to our second step. First, change the overall site itself to fit your business and brand. This means accomplishing the following. All right, so we want to do some basic changes to the site, and then we will add the blog and create a blog post. So let's look at what we're supposed to do. Edit the site down to just 4 pages. Home, About, Services, and Contact Us. Now I'll show you how to do that. But what I'm trying to do here is, again, just get you the basic pages that you would need if you were going to start your own site later. The blog pages themselves will go on the blog page. We'll set that up later. So don't worry about the blog right now. So let's go in and let's delete these pages and get it cleaned up. So let me show you what you got here, first of all, in this editor. You have here the site. This is what the draft of the site looks like. All right, those are all the different things that they've already put in. Over here we have our menu where we add things, menu and pages. We do all kinds of things. There's our blog we'll use later and so on. So we'll use some of these in this video. Up here you have Save, Preview, and Publish. It automatically saves for you. Preview is when you want to see what it looks like on a real site but don't actually publish it. And then Publish is when we put it live so that we can see it out there in the world. You also have the Undo and the Redo buttons here that you'll probably use from time to time. The final thing I want you to see, we have here our menu, and we want to edit that menu. Okay, and there's several ways to do this, but here's the way I want you to do it. Go over here and hit this Pages button. See, that gives you all of your pages that are already loaded into the site. And then I want you to go down here and hit Manage Pages. And with Manage Pages, here's your menu, and you can see that will mirror what we have here in the site itself. Remember, we want Home, About, Services, and Contact. So let's go ahead and delete Gallery. So I just click on the 3 dots to the right of Gallery, and I go down and I hit Delete. There you go, Delete. And now I can X out of this. You see these are the only 4 left. I can X out, and those are the 4 that are there. And again, later on you can work on those if you want to. So let's go back to D2L now. Edit the site down to 4 pages. We've done that. Now let's go to the next item. Change the background banner image to the same background image you used on Twitter. All right, so we have here in this site, we have a big background image. Now, depending on the site that you choose, it could look different. It might be the whole page. It might be a smaller portion. It's hard to say. But what I want you to do is to create a consistent brand. I want you to change that image right there to whatever you've been using in Twitter. And we will continue to use that image throughout the site and the course, in fact. So if we go here, we just click into this. And if you notice here, whenever you want to change something, you just click on it. And you'll get menu items that pop up. So let's click on this image here. It says strip, and then it says change strip background. And I want to do that. So I hit change strip background. It gives me all of these different options here. I can choose preloaded backgrounds. I can change the color. I could put a video in. But right now we just want to change this to an image that we have. So let's click image. Now I've got all of these images that I could choose from here. I could search for something up here, which we will do a little bit later. But in this case, I have an image I want to bring in from my computer. So I will go over here to Upload Media. So I click Upload Media, and it gives me an option to drag and drop the files that I want. Now I'm going to open up a window here of some images that I have already saved. Now I've got my homepage main image, and I've also got my logo. I'm going to use a logo in a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and click both of these. So I'll click this one, hold Shift, click that one, and then I'll drag them over. And it's loading them, and there they are. So in this case, I want this image to be loaded, so I click on that. Let's X out of this. And then I hit Change Background. Just click on it and hit Change Background. There it is. All nice and pretty. So I'm going to X out of that. Now I've changed that. Let's go and look at my instructions. Edit it down, change the background, change the company name and catchphrase to yours. Edit the font, color, etc. to be visually appealing. All right. So what I want you to do now is we've got, let's see here, change the company name and catchphrase. All right, we're not at logo yet. There's the logo of theirs, and then we've got company name and catchphrase. Now the company name that I have chosen, so what we do here is to change text, we click on the box, All right, we can hit Edit Text. See how it highlights? I click in here just like I do anywhere else, and I can type in my company name. Perfection Carpentry. All right. Now, and then my catchphrase down here is when, oops, let me get the caps lock off, when details matter. All right, now I want to mess around with this font a little bit here. So I've got it typed in, but let me show you something here. This looks very tight to me. Do you notice how tight those letters are? I'd like those to spread out a little bit. So if I highlight that and I go over into my editing box and I scroll down, I get to something called character line and spacing. This is character spacing, which has to do with how far these individual letters are spread out. So let's grab this little bar here, this little icon, and let's move it to the right. You see how that starts to spread out? Now I like that, so I'm going to leave that there. And then I'm going to go down here. It feels to me like this font is a little bit too small. So let's go up here and let's see the font size. Again, I'm just going to drag this, make that just a hair bigger. And I'm also going to make that italics. Okay? Now also, because my background is so light, you notice how I have white text, which I want, but it doesn't stand out very well in some of these areas. I don't want people to struggle to read this. So let's go back in here. Let's hit Edit Text. And then let's go down in our editing box and let's look at something called Effects. See that? In Effects, I can put shadows. Now, I want to try this shadow and see what it looks like. So I click that. Let's X out. And you see how it sets it off a little bit better? Now I really like that. So let's leave that there just like it is. Now you notice whenever we click something, we're going to have these drag icons. Okay? So what we can do here is we can drag things and make them move. You'll see that a little bit later as well. Okay? So let's go back to D2L now. Change the company name and catchphrase to yours. We've done that. Place your logo somewhere near the company name or in the background image. This will let people know who the site belongs to. All right, so there is their logo. Now, the easy thing to do here when you have an image already loaded, click the image if that's where you want it, and then just go Change Image. It will drop you into your media files, and then you can just go and click what you want. There's my logo. I already loaded that. Choose Image, and then it changes it. Now, a very, very big part of doing websites is having things in the right proportion and making everything visually appealing. If you look at this logo, it's very small and it's hard to see. So what I want to do here is I want to make this a little bit bigger. The first thing I want to do though is you notice this, I've got this space above and this space below on my image. It's going to make it hard to adjust. It's going to overlap with other stuff because it's so big. So in order to fix that, I can do something called cropping. So because I'm selected here, I can go down to my bar and there is a button called crop. Crop is essentially cutting a picture. So I go here, I hit crop, and then I scroll, pull this lever down, pull this little indicator up, and there you go. All right. Now I want to make this bigger. So I can grab that little bottom circle and I can make my logo bigger. Now the logo here, because I got it from a free site and didn't pay for it, it's a little bit grainy. It's not going to be perfect. And yours isn't either. But if you do start your own business, you might want to pay, I don't know, it's 25, 50 bucks, whatever, to get a whole set of logos. That's not very much. Okay, so let's go back and see what we've got here. Place your logo somewhere near the company name. Then it says on the very bottom of the home page, in the footer, delete any information you do not want there and change the business name to your name. However, leave any other elements you might want to keep to use later if you make this your site your actual business site. What you do here is up to you, but don't delete everything on the page. All right, so what I'm saying here is you've got yourself a basic web page if you want to use it, a website. So you might want to come back to this later and try and use it. So don't delete everything on these pages. Obviously, this name is going to be wrong. The text is going to be wrong. Whatever your site looks like, all this stuff will need to be changed. but don't change it now. All I want you to do now is to come down here to the bottom, and I want you to change. Let's look here. Let's remind ourselves. Delete any information you don't want in the footer and change the business name to yours. Okay. So down here in the footer, I'm just going to get rid of. If I click and hit the delete button, I can get rid of that. Now I'm going to go over here and I want to edit the text. And I'm going to perfection carpentry. Okay. Now that's left justified. I want to center it so it'll look better. So I'm going to go here to this little alignment tab, drop it down and hit the center. Now I've got it centered. Now I don't want Wix.com text on my site. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to come in here and type in my name. Okay, so that's essentially all I want you to do. I just want you to clean up the footer. That's called a footer. Leave everything else in, whatever your site does. And now you're basically ready to add your blog now. So later on, if I wanted to, I could go to my About page. Let's go here. Let's go to Manage Pages. And you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to show you what I would do. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember how to do this. I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to say Our Story. I'm going to change that to Our Story. I could go here and I could change what we do. So I could do that and I could change all those things. Again, you don't have to do that, but then I could go to those pages. Let's go here. Let's go to Our Story. Here it is. I could change this to Our Story. And I could start putting in all the stuff about me and my business. You see that? So you can build this on your own later on. You don't have to do any of that now. All right, so let's go back to our instructions. We've done everything in point 2. We've done point 1. We've done point 2. Now let's go to point 3. Let's move on to set up the blog and write a blog post. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to add the blog into the site. That's here. We're going to go to our posts. We're going to change some categories and create a post of our own. Okay, so you can read all of this detail yourself, but I'm just going to walk through with you. All right, so in my site here, any page I want to, from any page I want, I can click this plus button, and I can go down and I can say hit blog. Okay, then I can say add to site. I believe I can do this over here also. Let's see what happens if I do that. I'm going to learn with you. I can't remember. Same thing, add now. You see that? So I can hit it here and go down to blog and hit add, or I can hit start blogging and add. Let's go to this one and just do it the way I started. Add to site. Now it's going to do a few revolutions here and it's going to add this to the site. Okay? Now it's added it, but look here, see blog? And we're on our blog page now. It dropped in the blog page. So we did that. We set up the blog, click my blog icon on the left, click manage posts and go to categories. So let's do this. Delete the pre-configured categories and add 3 new categories that relate to your business blog. So let's talk about this. All right, manage posts. All right, whenever you go into this blog, it's going to have some template stuff in there already. It'll have some categories for you. It'll have some blog posts that are just basically placeholders. So you have to go in and clean all of that up before you start your own blog. Now categories, let's go here to categories. We want to delete those and get those straight first. All right. Categories are basically the folders, if you will, that you'll put blog posts in. So you might have a category called best steaks or carpentry tricks or something like that, whatever your business is. Well, you want to put those in sort of a category so that customers can go and read. If they get interested in one particular blog, they can read other blogs that are related to that idea or that theme. All right, now in this, when I loaded this, it doesn't have any categories. But if it had categories, then you would delete those so that you can put in categories for your own blog, your own business. All right, so let me show you how to add categories. I want you to add 3. I'm only going to add 2 just for time, but I want you to add 3. So to add a new category, I can hit new category there or new category there. So let's go here, blue icon. All right, now it just gives me these very easy things, ways to add a category. All right, my first category is going to be called DIY tips or do-it-yourself tips. Now I've created all of this, came up with all of this earlier, so I'm copying and pasting now. Now I want to, see it pops in right there, category title. Now I want a description. I'm just going to go something clever and something short. This is what I'm going to say. Creative ways to do your own thing. All right. Now the only other thing I need to do here is let's add an image. So if I click this, you see it drops me into my site files, right? But if I go here to media from Wix, or if I start searching up here, I'll be able to find some other images. So if I click there, now I want to search for carpenter for this one. So I'm going to go down here. Remember, this is do-it-yourself projects. So let's choose one that looks like a do-it-yourself project. How about this one right here? We'll just choose this one. And then we click it, it gets the blue line around it, and we hit add to page. And there is my category. So I hit save. It's all done. Right? Now I've got a category. Let's add one more category. Again, we just go to new category. This one's going to be called Inspirational Projects. And what I'm going to say about this one is projects that drive your inner carpenter. How about that? Let's go to add here. And let's just search up here now. Let's not go to down here. Let's just search here. We want to search for wooden cabin. Now I looked this up earlier, so you'll probably, there you go. That's the one I want. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's add that one. All right, so then we got that. Let's hit save. So we've got our two categories. Now let's go back. Yours should be 3, okay? Let's go back. All right. Delete the pre-configured categories. Click Published Posts or the like from the leftmost blog menu. Delete all the pre-configured posts from your template. Click Create New Post. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go back over here. We're done with our categories. Again, you'll have 3. Let's go over here to Blog and let's go to Published. This is going to show us all the blogs that are published. And remember, these are just templates. I want to delete them all, so I can select one at a time, or I can just select all. And I hit Move to Trash. See that? To delete them. And then confirm it. So I've done that. Now let's go here and let's create a new post. We want now to start our own blog. All right, let's look at what it says here. Create new post, add a title, write a blog entry, 300 words or more, follow the directions. You know how I am on directions. Use good grammar, add an image, add categories, and then publish it. All right, so let me walk you through that. What you have in here is very simple. You've got a title, you've got your text, and then you've got this add button, which allows you to add things. Over here, you have some other options that we'll look at here in just a moment. All right, for my blog post, my first blog is going to be called Floors Like They Should Be. Okay? And I've already written the text here, and this is really just going to be instructional for you. This isn't really about floors. All right, a little trick here. Most of the time when you're pasting something, I'm pasting this from a Word document. All right, if I hit paste, it will more than likely paste into the font that I have in my word processor. It's usually a good idea just to paste as plain text. That way it drops in the font of your editor. Okay? So here I've got 2 paragraphs. Something about blogs. Try and keep your paragraphs short, sweet, and always put some space in between them. You wouldn't want, here I'm going to show you something. You wouldn't necessarily want in a blog or any kind of internet text a long paragraph, even this long. If you go to CNN or Fox News or any other sites, you're going to see them writing in very, very short paragraphs. It has to do with people wanting to read and read quickly. So I'm going to hit return and I'm going to hit enter again. I'm going to create second paragraph, okay? Now I want to add an image. This little plus button will add an image or a video or whatever I want to put in anywhere that cursor is. All right, so when I go up here, what I want, so if you want it in the middle here, which will look a little weird, you could just add it there. I want it between the first and second paragraph, so I just hit the plus button. Now I can do all of these things here. I could add a file, like a Word file or a PDF. I could put a gallery in, I could put video in, you know, a GIF. I could do anything I want. But I want to add an image. All right? So here again, we drop this in. I don't have an image I want to load. I want to look for something. So I'm going to type in hardwood floors. All right. Hardwood floors. Let's look. Here's the image from Wix. Let me show you what you've got here. You've got images from Wix. That's from the site itself. But you've also got Unsplash, which is a free site. It's loading those in, you can select. And then you've got Shutterstock, which is where you buy the images. Of course, I never do this. I never buy images unless I'm doing a book cover or something. All right, so let's go in here and let's see all, because there's one in here that I really liked. I thought was really cool. There it is right there. All right, let me add this to the page. Look at that. Those are floors. Okay. So what I've got here is I've got a little, this is real tight, and that has a, remember spacing in the visual part of doing it. You might want to put that in there like that, put an extra space so it's nice and clean. Now let me show you this. When I click on this image, I can place this image in different places. So I can go to the right, I could go to the left, or I could go in the middle. I could also do some different things here with how I size it. See that? I like that. I like it in the middle, and I like it big because it's so beautiful. All right, now that I've done that, let's look here. Create a post, add a title, write a blog, use the right grammar, add an image. We've done that. Now click categories and add categories that apply to this post. All posts must have a category. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to category, and now I've got my categories here. Now you should have 3, but this is going to be inspirational projects. So I'm going to click on that, and then it just saves it. Now what I need to do is publish it and then return to the editor. So what I do is I hit publish. By the way, you can schedule the post. You can save it as a draft, and work on it later, or you can schedule it. Now I'm not going to schedule it in this case, but I'm going to click on this to show you. And I can schedule it anytime I want. So one of the things about blogging is, if you're like me, I usually have time in blocks. So I would do a few blog posts and then schedule them, and then I wouldn't come back to it for a month or something. That's all up to you. So let's cancel it, and let's just hit publish. Okay, just skip all this. Okay, and X out of this. There's your post. All right, now we're on the blog page. See that? The blog is highlighted, and there is our first blog. All right, now if I want to see what this would look like, I can hit the preview button. Then I should be able to click on it. So I'm coming into your blog, and I'm coming in. Let's look and see what I got. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. What's next? I've done all that. Make the site live. Do not pay for this. Wix will allow you to put up a site for free. We just have their logo and their name and the site address. Put the website address in a Word document with your name and assignment title and submit it to D2L. So you're almost done here. So we go up here. We just hit this publish button. Okay? Publish button. Now what it does here is it gives me the site. It always comes up. So I can hit view site, and there it is. Okay? So what you want to do is copy this, paste it into a Word document per the instructions, and that's your submission. Now let me go back here. Let's say that you forget to do this and you're like, oh no, don't try and edit mobile mode right now. Okay, we're not going to worry about that right now. All right, let's go back to the editor, and I forgot to copy it, Mr. Moore. What do I do? Just hit view site. See here, you go over to publish and go to view site, and it'll take you to it again. You see that? So that's the end of the video. I hope that it's been helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing your awesome sites and reading your awesome blogs. So have a great day.